What's going on, guys? In this video we are going to be tearing apart my 2017 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat to figure out where the oil is leaking from. So I've been battling this ever since we assembled this car. This car was burnt to the ground. We went ahead, completely stripped it down, brought it down to the bare bones, rebuilt it, and in the process we built the engine with MMX. It's fully built internally. It's still 6.2, but it's got upgraded rods, forged Moly pistons, CNC ported heads, MMX's cam kits, all ARP fasteners, the works, and it made pretty much 1,000 wheel horsepower with the 2.4 blower. So she makes some sauce for sure. But we have had a little oil issue, and I kind of outlined it on one of the last videos, and I want to get to the bottom of it because it's just been a nagging issue and I want to finally resolve it. So fortunately, unfortunately, I think I know where it's coming from, but it is a lot of work to fix it. It appears to be either leaking from one of the oil galley plugs on the back of the block, or there's a plug that goes on the back of where the cam goes, and either one of those is leaking. I kind of went in there last video with my little camera, and it seems to be wet on the back of the block, and that's what's running down, getting onto the oil pan and dripping that way. So to get to that, we have to take off the transmission, to take off the flex plate to get to the back block. Big job, but hey, it's sometimes part of what it is. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna put the vehicle up in the air. I don't know if I'm gonna bore you guys with the whole process because it's gonna be a lot of work, but exhaust has to come off, support the engine, take the transmission off, drive shaft has to come out, and then I'm gonna go ahead, we'll drop the transmission down, take the flex plate off, everything out, and then hopefully we'll be able to finally get to the bottom of why this thing is leaking. So let me go ahead, put this thing up in the lift, and we'll get to work. All right, guys, well, a lot of work later. Exhaust is off, drive shaft is out, transmission's out, differential's out because we're still waiting to get our billet one back from our boy Terry. The stock one, I just ended up taking it out. I actually ended up selling it, so had to go regardless. And then transmission's out, flex plate's off, everything is all over the place. And as suspected, you guys, I'm sure most of you guys were as curious as I was to figure out what the heck was going on with this. You guys can see right there, it's wet from the plug that goes in the back of the camshaft bore. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of there. It's funny because I actually, when I installed it, I even went through the added safety. Maybe this was, right or wrong, but I used the right stuff, Permatex. And I even put a smear of it on there just to make sure that it sealed even better, but obviously that didn't fly. So yeah, it's dry everywhere else, and even up here, stuck my finger in there. Those are dry, that's dry, but you can see, hopefully right there, it is wet and pooling right in there. So I'm gonna go ahead, figure out how to get that out without introducing shavings. So I don't know. Might try to, I could drill a hole and put like a screw in it and pop it out, but I don't want to do that because then shavings might go inside. But I'm thinking what I might try to do is maybe pierce it, and then I can use a pry bar and pop it out. But either way, let me work on getting that out. I got a brand new OEM Mopar one on the bench there ready to go in, and we'll see how she goes. All right, this was my easy way of getting it out. So I just took a sharp punch, drove it into the middle, and then just tapped this way. And it looks like she's gonna pop right out. So, really not entirely sure why it wants to leak, but it is what it is. So, a little bit nervous putting a new one in here, making sure it doesn't leak, but let me clean everything up. It looks like that part kind of shaved off some of the coating there, so maybe that had something to do with it. But either way, I'll try to maybe use this one to drive the new one in so that we're pressing up against it flat. But that's it, that's the culprit. All right, got the new plug here. I just put a tiny smear around the edge where that's gonna press up just of the right stuff, 90-minute gasket maker. So, and then I've got a socket that fits beautifully on this. So maybe when I install this, I seem to remember I was kind of fighting with it a little bit. I think when I went to put it in, it ended up like kind of coin tossing on me. So I think that's probably why I ended up, it was so long ago they did this, but I think that's why I ended up putting the right stuff on it. But Just gonna make sure I put this in as square as possible. Hopefully it doesn't like coin flip on me. And I'll put it in, tap it in, and this should be sealed up solid, I hope. All right, so plug is in. I ended up putting a little bit extra RTV on it just for insurance. And then I took this one out and I'm just putting some, I cleaned them off and I'm putting some Permatex high temp thread sealant. So I got some of this on here, got a nice little bead on there, and just reinstall them just to make sure that everything is 100% sealed again. All right, well, everything is ready to go, you guys. So we got everything nice and sealed up here. So got that in there. Everything is dry. It's actually the next day. So I ended up putting a nice smear of RTV on the exterior of the cap also, just for extra safety. And then I took out this plug, this one. There is two more right here. There's one there, but these ones are bone dry, so I don't want to disturb those ones. But just since the front was wet, I went ahead and just did these two just in case. So everything's good to go now. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna get the transmission back up. I was debating, I do have a Circle D torque converter with a stall in it. I was debating putting it in, but I'm getting kind of mixed opinions on whether I should or shouldn't install it. So for now, just to not complicate things further, I'm gonna leave the stock one in here. We'll see how it runs. I might put the Circle D back in it at some point, or maybe we'll try a little bit more known, proven combos. Maybe the Sipple one, I haven't decided yet, but I just don't need to add any additional issues or, you know, variables into the mix right now. So I'll go ahead, we'll bring this back up, get this back on here. I'm excited to get this thing back together leak free. And yeah, let's get it up, get it on, and fire this thing back up, hopefully. All right, so I was just about to put the transmission up, and I decided it would probably be the best time to put some V-bands on this thing. It's had those slipped exhaust fittings forever. It's kind of what the Stainless Works headers come with, and they are a pain in the butt. They're hard to dismantle when you got to work on the thing, because you got to essentially crush the pipe down, and then you got to try to get it off of there, and it's just always a pain in the butt. So I ended up figuring, since the transmission's not here, I have a bunch of room to weld these V-bands. So got these all welded up. I don't know how the light, let me play with the light here for a second so you guys can see. Came out pretty good. Look at those dimes. So got those on there. It was a little bit hard to weld here, but way more room than if the transmission was right here. You'd have next no room. And I don't know if you guys noticed or saw, but I ended up getting a welder. Finally, you guys, I finally got a welder. So there was a deal I couldn't pass up on Facebook Marketplace. It's like a $5,000 welder with the cart, and it's literally brand new. The person used it once, maybe twice. And yeah, got it for $3,000. So I'm still buying stuff, you guys, but it was just an investment, and it does both. It does MIG and TIG and stick. And check this thing out. Look how fancy this is. So it's got an auto set, so you put what function you're doing, what kind of metal you're working with, and then the thickness, and it essentially sets up what they, and they by I mean Miller, knows what, you know, amperage and all that stuff to run. And this thing is awesome. You just literally just set your metal thickness and type of metal, and just send it, and it does pretty dang good. So anyways, got that all done. So now I can go put the transmission on there. I'm obviously gonna have to modify my exhaust and put the corresponding V-band, but this I can remove from the car and get the V-band on there. But yeah, definitely was a good time. Spent an extra couple hours getting those on there and getting it all proper, but not a fast welder, but I am getting the hang of it, and I'm pretty happy with the results. Check that out one more time, you guys. So like I said, I'm actually able to focus on laying some decent beads all the way around now, instead of focusing on my settings. So getting some nice color, getting it down. And yeah, now I can finally get this thing up here. Actually, it's kind of funny because I was about to lift that up there, but got ahead of myself. I need to put the flex plate on there. Okay, ended up putting the Miller to work even more. I went ahead and put these in here. So I got these all TIG welded up. So like I said, just working on my TIG welding, getting a little bit better. I don't claim to be perfect at it, but definitely coming out pretty decent, especially with the new welder. So now it's just all me. No more excuses, you guys, with this welder. It's all me. So just practicing, getting decent. You know, I'm not claiming to be perfect, but show you guys that, yeah, you can get stuff done. Just keep practicing. So anyways, I'm gonna get this up here. Still waiting for the differential. Might actually be picking it up today, so I'm not sure when that'll come or when I'll be able to go get that before this video. But anyways, I just want to test fit this, so let's go ahead, see about getting these two pipes on here and see how our work fits. So ended up, like I said, putting these in and getting this through here. This was all like slip fit stuff and it was just making me absolutely crazy. So let's see how she fits. All right, well, it is the next day and our boy Terry ended up getting it hooked up. So we got the diff, so let me talk about that in just a second, but it's sitting over there ready to go in. And then here's all the exhaust stuff all bolted up. I'm not sure if I showed you guys already, but I got the V-bands in place. Just wanted to make sure everything fits. So reason for this is, like I said, everything was slip fit before. There was a slip fit from here to there. This was slip fitted onto that. That was slip fitted onto here. And then you got the slip fit here. This is the reducer from 3" down to 2 3/4, which is what the factory Demon, Hellcat, SRT stuff is. At some point I might try to do something a little different there, but that's what this is here. So right now I just left that. I'm okay with one slip there, but the rest of it now, it's all 100% solid, so I don't have to worry about it rattling and making noise and throwing my knock sensors all crazy and reducing timing from false knock. So here is a diff. Terry took it completely apart, dialed it all in. It's got nice tight backlash, spins freely. There's no hangs, no binds on it. He resealed it all. So I just gotta put fluid in it, put it back up there. I don't know if I'm gonna put fluid in it before or after, but you guys get the idea. That's gotta get up there. In order to get that up there, I do have to drop the exhaust. It'll just make it a hell of a lot easier to get it up and in there. So exhaust is coming off. And then diff is going up, and then I can put the exhaust back on. So especially with having all the V-bands, it should be fairly easy to get on and off here now. So that's the plan. Let's go ahead and drop it, diff on, and then this car can be hopefully wrapped up, ready to go. All right, guys, so she is all back together. I didn't bore you with putting it back together because I feel like I've done it and filmed it way too many times. So exhaust all back together. It's all looking real good through here. The diff is in, so hopefully finally we can keep this thing in here. I promise you guys, I have been wanting to get to the track just as much, probably more than you guys, but you guys know that I've just been battling, trying to get some of these components that can actually, last more than just a slight drive around town. So anyways, she's all together. Let's bring it down. I'm curious how the sound is gonna change with those on there. So let's go ahead, bring it down and see what she sounds like. All right. She is back together, back running. The beast, Duke, is back together. So I don't know what really changed the sound a whole lot, to be honest. I thought it was gonna knock a little bit of the edge off, but we'll try driving it and see what it does. I also want to see if the rear diff, how that sounds. So let's go for a little cruise, see what we got. All right, so we're just cruising. I don't know if you guys can hear the whine from the diff, but I mean, the problem is it's definitely better. But part of the problem is, it was set up incorrectly before, so there might be some whine introduced into it, but at least we know that everything is in spec. Our backlash is good. Like I said, it might be a noisy gear set a little bit at this point, plus we're gonna get more noise, through a solid differential, solid billet differential, plus the mounts that we have. But it's definitely better, I would say. Not, stock car status, but it doesn't seem like overly concerning in my opinion. I don't feel like so. And also last time the pinion was loose, so I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's definitely loud, definitely not stock. So All right, guys, so car is back in the shop. You're gonna have to take my word for it. I stuck my head underneath there and I don't see any drips so far. Didn't do a crazy long drive, maybe like 10-15 minutes, but I don't see anything so far, but I'll keep you guys posted on that, but that should be the end of that issue. As far as the differential, so it's put together properly, but like I said, because it was originally not put together properly, so it might have worn in a little bit of a pattern. But I spoke to my buddy Terry. He said his is just as loud and he's been beating on it without any issue. So I'm probably gonna go over to Terry's house. Maybe I'll film and let me know in the comments below. Do you guys want to see some of his toys? He's got 2 Demon 170s. What else he got? A Super Stock, a 6-speed manual 2023 car. I don't know. He's got a bunch of stuff there, but if you guys are into Mopars, you guys would probably want to see some of his stuff. So I'll talk to him and see if he's okay with showing you guys some stuff. But anyways, pretty happy with this thing being together. Hot Rod Power Tour, I gotta leave in like 1 week, you guys, for Hot Rod Power Tour. So I should be out there if everything goes as planned. It's kind of a toss up between taking this car or taking the Hell Ram. Kind of leaning towards taking the Hellcat Ram just because it's a little bit more unique. I know this thing is an absolute beast and a monster, and this one's definitely faster, but the Hellcat Ram is, you don't see them every day, so I'm thinking maybe I'll take that. But comment down below, which one would you guys rather see go on the Hot Rod Power Tour? Duke, our 1,000-wheel horsepower Challenger Hellcats, or should we take the Hellcat Ram? And we'll get your votes down below, see which one you guys would rather see. So anyways, car's back together. Hopefully everything tests out. Like I said, I'll test it over the next few days, make sure everything's good, and then we should be able to, as long as this thing stays together, take it to the track here pretty soon. So thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, go head over to shopboosted.com. Got a ton of new products over there. We also have new Hemi throttle bodies. We've got 95mm billet throttle bodies. I just added those. They're Boosted Motorsports, made in the USA. So I got those for you guys as well. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next video.